Perfect. I'm just getting notification. Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning into a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast with us this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us, one who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than the legendary captain herself, Sister Alice Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum salam, sir.
Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come give us just a glimpse of history from your vantage point. We look forward to hearing that. The first question we want to know, ma'am, is when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
I first heard the teachings in 1957.
That's one. Yes, ma'am. And what were your thoughts when you first heard the teachings?
Well, my thoughts at that time, I was running away from it because I just didn't believe what my then husband came home to tell me. I first heard it through him because he had gone to the mosque. And being from a sanctified family filled with the Holy Ghost, I just didn't accept what he came home to tell me.
Yes, ma'am. What was it about the teachings that did get you to accept?
Well, after studying and watching how he evolved in the nation, then I says, okay, let me go and see what's going on. And that's how I started going. And I noticed how the sisters were doing. So I wanted to be a part of that.
Beautiful.
And that's when, but at that particular time, I could not attend the meetings because I was pregnant with my son. And after a few months, they didn't allow you to come if you were with child.
Okay, yes, ma'am. So once you finally accepted the teachings, how did your family and friends feel about that?
Oh, my family, we were alienated from my family and my husband's family for about 10 years. Because as I said, my husband's father was a bishop in the Sanctified Church. And of course, that was strictly a no-no. So they more or less cut off all communications for many years.
Yes, ma'am. And during your time period, ma'am, did you ever get to see the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Oh, yes, sir. Every time that he came to Los Angeles, I think about 3 times I do remember being in the audience while he was teaching.
Beautiful, yes, ma'am. And how did you become a captain in the Nation of Islam in MGT?
Well, like I said, I began to study and I began to watch the change that had came over my husband and the sisterhood. They reached out for me. I think that is the thing that really encouraged me to come into the nation. They were very friendly, warm, and loving. And that was what I really did enjoy.
All praises due to Allah. Beautiful, ma'am. Okay, so 1975 comes, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad departs. How did that personally affect you and your family?
Oh, we were devastated because we just didn't believe that he would leave us. So, like everybody else, when the nation fell, we fell too. It was horrible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. It was really it was just, it's just like everything. We just lost everything. And by that, I mean the contact that we had with the sister, brotherly love, and everybody just went berserk. They started doing all types of things. Sisters started throwing their garments away, and it wasn't good.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. And Sister Captain, people are showing you love all over the country. My sisters Miriam and Naima, Dr. Brother James White says Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Muhammad says Assalamu alaikum, beautiful Sister Captain Alice, and people just showing you love. And we can't wait to put this on YouTube and let us know where you all are watching from as well. Okay, Sister Captain. So the nation falls, 1975. When do you come back with the rebuilding process in the nation?
I came back late 83, almost 84. I was like wandering in the wilderness, you know.
Yes, ma'am. And what was it about the rebuilding that made you want to fall back in the ranks?
Hearing the teachings of our beloved Honorable Minister Farrakhan. And it was then I knew that, hey, I got to get up and get busy.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And when did you become the captain then?
You know, after I heard the minister, I think it was in Indiana, that at that Savior's Day, I believe it was 82. But when I came back, may Allah be pleased, peace and blessings on my sister, Sister Lorraine Muhammad. She kept stopping by asking, Sister Alice, please come and help us. Please come and help us. But I was just dragging my feet. And then Brother, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, a brother who is very real and tender in my heart. That's my brother. He would stop by, Sister Alice, come help us, you know. And so finally, I get this call one day on my job, and it was Sister Captain Bessie Jean. And she's, you know, identified herself, and she said that I had been recommended to become the captain in Compton. And Brother Captain Shaheed had did that. And I was really furious, but I did tell her, I says, well, Sister Captain, I know the ins and outs. I don't want a long-term job. I don't mind helping the sisters, but after that, I'm out of there. But that was in, I think, 1991.
Yes, ma'am. And on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, we want to thank you for your sacrifices, the Captain Alice, and the sacrifices of your family to help establish Islam here in North America, and specifically in the Western region. We thank Allah for you and the work that you put in and continue to put in to help wake our people up. What the sisters, my mother, MGT, and Vanguard captains all across the country reference your name so much. What advice do you give to the young sisters coming up after you?
Well, the advice that I give, because we're in a different day, excuse me, in a different time. But I would say to them, I do say to them, stay focused and hold on. That's and come on, let's go. You know, because it's at one point, it's like we had kind of just stopped. But I see the young folk now, they are moving out, and that's what I would tell them, stay focused and hold on.
Beautiful. All praises due to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And Sister Captain, people are showing you love all across the country, but we do have a quick 60-second, and thank you for your comments and your questions. We have a quick 60-second commercial break, Sister Captain, for the podcast, and then we're coming right back to you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Perfect. All right.
Brother Rashad Street Premiere. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All three available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Rock Communications. If you're working on a book and you need copy, editing, project management, content development, or media relations, please reach out to Rock Communications. Student Minister Robert L. Muhammad's Conflict Mediation, squashing the beast throughout the Southwest region. He does a phenomenal job. His wife, Sister Fudia Muhammad's Giving Birth to a God and the Science of Child Rearing. Please make sure you go out and get a copy of her book as well. Fashion Gods, urban streetwear clothing for men and boys. 314-329-6009. He'll keep you dressed in the best of fashion. Brother Kenneth's bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship you bow ties anywhere across the nation. Taj Hollywood's Chemistry 6 episode, a new television series out on YouTube. He's looking for actors and writers. Make sure you support him. Keep It Hood, helping others overcome depression. Also by Taj Hollywood. Brother Aaron's Elevated Places, stress management, real estate, credit, repair, and restoration. His Respect for Life Center. They do personal wellness, philosophy, emotional, and mental spiritual wellness. 229-344-1474. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 Disinfected Cleaning Services, out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon.
Okay, thank you. And thank you all, everyone who donates and sponsors and continues to like, share, and subscribe. Right back to our sisters, to the Capt Alice Muhammad. My next question for you, ma'am, is, has there ever been a time where you were faced with fear? And if so, how did you overcome that fear?
Yes, sir, but not fear, because we were taught, and I was taught by a very heavyweight captain here in the Western region, Sister Huday. And she, I stand on her shoulders because she taught us to be fearless. However, we had to be right. And a lot of times when we first started wearing our garment, people outside of the Muslim community would say and do things, but she taught us how to walk proudly without fear. And one thing she said, the messenger said that we have to be right when we're walking the streets with these garments, because all we have to do, see, we had a hotline. Anything that would happen to us on the street, we'd call this number, and boy, the brothers came before you could blink an eye. But just actual fear, I even today, I fear no one but Allah,
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. All praise to God.
I tell you what, though, it was a little fearful when I told my parents that I had become a Muslim. Not that they would, it's just that was the fear that I had.
Okay, great. Yes, ma'am. Wonderful. And people are saying, bear witness and show love all across the country. My sister Miriam wants to know, what is the greatest lesson that being an MGT has taught you?
The greatest lesson that I've been taught as an MGT is to try my best to live as the messenger and Allah and the minister have given us. There's so much out there. I've been through a lot, but Allah have blessed me to come. Matter of fact, I made 88 last couple of weeks ago. So Allah, just trying to stay focused. That's the thing. There's so much out there um, that will hinder you if you allow it. But and especially with the young women and men, there's so much out there nowadays that they've got to hold on and hold on real tight to what they are being taught as far as Islam goes. And I do remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad telling us the reason that we have to are to memorize our lessons is because it would save our lives. And a lot of times that's what I focus on. I remember I said, it's okay now, what did lesson so-and-so say? But that's basically it.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. And people saying alhamdulillah, peace and showing love all across the country. My
Praise
sister
be
Miriam
to Allah.
wants to know, what do you think the main difference and similarities that you can note between the MGT prior to 75 and are today?
Oh, it's quite a difference. Because prior to 75, once we became into the knowledge of Islam, it became our way of life. We lived it. Day in, day out, we lived it. What I see, and I hope my little sisters will forgive me, but it's almost like they go to a practice, a baseball practice. They practice Islam on Wednesday, Thursday, and go back out and do whatever until it becomes rooted and grounded. That's all that is how to, and we're not perfect. None of us are perfect. We're striving. But that's the difference that I see. We were dedicated, and we were not afraid to check our sisters in a righteous manner if we saw them out of sort. But now the difference is the law. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us to love the law. Prior to 75, we feared the law. Anytime you go out with the heads without your hair covered, you got C time or 90 days F time, depending on how you were dressed. So that way it kept us in check to try and dress properly each time we left the house.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. And thank you, Sister Audra, for saying alhamdulillah, and people who showing love. I said Chinache X Ashford saying peace, family, and peace to you as well. My next question for you, ma'am, is what advice would you give to future mothers?
Well, mothers, scripture says, train up a child in the way it should go. And that's so important, that you put in your child, regardless of what they do later, they still have that training deep down within. And they might deviate from what you've taught them, but at some point, they will come back. And Allah requires us to mothers to make good children. And then once you put the goodness in them, then you have to turn it back over to him and he takes over.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Well, you told me before we went live that you're a great grandmother. How is it seeing yourself down the annals of time being a great grandmother? How does that make you feel?
Actually, I'm just really, every morning I wake up, Brother Joshua, and I thank Allah, even with my son. And people always say, well, why do you put Brother Captain Shaheed, peace and blessings of Allah, be on such a high pedestal? Had it not been for Brother Shaheed, I live with my son right now.
Yes, ma'am.
And my son was 12 years old. They were out on a push in one of those projects in California. And when they knocked, they had the Muhammad Speak newspaper. When they knocked on the door, this man opened the door and he fired a shot. And as he was firing, Brother Shaheed knocked my son out the way and he caught the bullet in his head. And, I'm thankful because that's where I am with my son today. But had it not been for Brother Captain Shaheed, my boy wouldn't be here. But with my grandchildren, they're different. They're different when I was raising my children. Even the great grandchildren are different from the grandchildren. They're different. I look at them and they're so computer wise, and I'll tell them, okay, show Granny how to do this. They'll take the phone and do it, and bam, there you go, Granny. I said, I didn't ask you to do it. I told you to show me how. But they are very, very impatient. With raising my children, you tell them to do something, they would do it. But children nowadays, their favorite words are, I know, I know, I know. In other words, they're saying, shut the heck up. Because they don't want to hear what you have to say.
Yes, ma'am. Beautiful. Well, and people are saying all praises to Allah. Wow, they never heard that story before. And thank Allah for you, and may Allah be pleased with Captain Shaheed as well. My next question for you, ma'am, is what type of music do you listen to?
I'm forced to listen to whatever the youngsters are playing. Sometimes I listen, but I'm not hearing. And then all of a sudden I'll hear something and I says, oh my God, what did they say? But I like B.B. King, all those old songs. Yes, sir.
So the Thriller's Gone. You like the Thriller's Gone. Okay, B.B. King.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yes, ma'am. Wonderful. All right. And what advice would you give to future wives?
Ooh, future wives. To put your 7 units in order. That's, the advice that I got from Sister Houday. She would tell us, okay, so now you're getting ready to get married. You had to look pretty, you had to look whatever, attractive. But once you get married, you're walking in rollers all day, house coat all day. You have to keep up that attractiveness because there's still women out there that have it. So you got to present yourself the best you can for your mate. So that's the thing. If they hold on to Allah's blessings and just live Islam, be right and be truthful, be loving. There was a sister I was teaching one Saturday. So I told the sisters, I said, okay, you're going to go home on a Wednesday. We did things in the Western region as a unit, as a whole. If we were doing something in Los Angeles, it was in San Francisco, Oakland, or wherever. So I told them, okay, we're going to use the Wednesday. Be sure you get up, get your house clean, get your food going, get your children ready for bed early, give them a couple of spoons of cough syrup so they can go to sleep. When your husband comes, be all dressed, have the candles, the dinner, and, just to enjoy, to make his coming home just a beautiful experience. So we did that. And the funny part, this sister right today, every time she sees me, she shakes her index finger. Because 6 months after, 6 months afterwards, she was with child. And she said, you didn't tell me how to avoid that part. But that was, we didn't talk the bedroom talk, but you do things to make the husband, and he will reciprocate. You do nice things. He come home, because I know during the time when I was married, that brother he was a number one. I couldn't have asked for anything better. But as time goes, things happen. But and I'd recommend, once you get married, get in there and fight for your rights, fight for whatever it is that you have, because that's it. That family unit, that's what makes a great nation.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. Beautiful. People are showing you love all across the country, Sister Captain.
Oh, goodness.
Says, just live Islam, be right. This is beautiful. The way you got them, the way you keep them. Yes, ma'am. Sister Arthur says her dear sister Bernice spoke of Sister Captain Alice with great reverence and respect. And thank you all for your wonderful comments and saying speak on it and showing you love. Okay, great. My next question for you, ma'am, is, will you ever write a book about your life?
Well, I've started writing. I did, but every time I get started, for some reason, I can't go any further, because I did do a play looking for my sisters, but I was inspired by the grace and the spirit of Allah. So every night I'd have my pencil and pad, and I'd write and I'd write and I'd write. I've started writing a book, but for some reason, there are certain aspects that I can't get past. So then I put my paper and pencil down and maybe pick it up a couple of 2 months later, but I am in the process of writing, but I got to get that spirit of Allah in me for the book.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, great. Praise be to Allah. And we hope that that spirit comes in. Sister Malika says, yeah, she loves us and loves the family unit. I also saw where people were giving you birthday acknowledgments on social media, and the MGT, specifically in the West Coast region, were thanking Allah for you and what the sacrifice that you've done for your family. So we want to make sure that we, 88 years of age, 88 years young, and you're still speaking strong about the teachings of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's beautiful, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Now, Sister Captain, what would you like your legacy to be?
I would like my legacy to be Sister Alice worked, loved, and taught the sisterhood as best as she possibly could have. And, Brother Joshua, my philosophy was always to try to show by precept and example. Being proud of 75, I learned a lot. And when the nation fell, I saw all of those people, or the laborers that were in charge, how they came down the hill. And I never wanted that to be me. I would get in there in the kitchen, work, roll my sleeves up, work, and teach the sisters. I was not a sit-back captain. I rolled my sleeves up. We had dinners, 5 o'clock every Sunday. My doorbell at my residence would ring, because all of the lieutenants and some of the sisters would be there to prepare dinner for Sunday, for mosque. And then we'd transport it, but that's the way we were. We worked as a unit. And that is why I tell the sisters, unification with the minister say there's no better love to have than to have a godly sister love. That stayed with me for years and years.
Beautiful. All praise due to Allah. People are showing you love once again all across the country. People saying they bear witness. Yes, ma'am. That's our sister Captain. Sister Rachel Neal from Phoenix says, beloved sister, always teaching with love. Excellent. We have one more question for you, ma'am, Sister Captain. For those, you saw the fall of 1975. Now
Yes.
we are on a second examination with the Most High Master's Farrakhan about to depart. What advice would you give to the believers as far as keeping, 10 toes down and holding on to our faith in the absence, the physical absence of seeing him?
Ooh, sometimes it's almost like deja vu. But the thing that stays foremost in my mind, because there's always stuff out there that's going to try you, tempt you, and we got to be real careful of that hypocrite that slides right up to us in that day, in that hour, that try to deter our focus. If we got to hold on. I tell, if it's just by a string, you got to hold on, because the day is going to come that you got to be strong. That's all I know. And hold on to that we know, that we've learned. And the minister did tell us that the nation would never fall again, but there would be deviations. So that's the thing. You got to remember, because people, and just since I have had the opportunity to just sit, look, I'm a people watcher, you got to be careful. And anytime anybody come up to you with something that you know is not right, you got to smash them right then and there. Because otherwise it starts spreading like a wildfire. And the next thing you know, they'll bite on the next one and the next one. And that's not it. The minister have taught us and is teaching us well. And we just have to pay attention and be extraordinarily careful of what you allow to come into your ears.
Oh, praise beautiful, beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Wonderful. You're teaching, and people saying speak on it. That's a beautiful truth, powerful and excellent. The sisters are going love, the brothers are on love, but especially the MGT all across the country. But Sister Captain, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the People's Podcast and let us record this magnificent history and pay honor and give you your flowers and your respect and salute you for the time and the work that you put in. Once we shout out to Facebook, Twitter, and social media, but once we put this on YouTube specifically, people all over the nation should be reaching out to you, thanking you, and showing love to you and remembering you for all of the work that you have done and continue to do. May Allah bless you and your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and everyone who's assisted in helping you, Sister Captain. We thank Allah for you, for all of the sisters that you've trained, all of the brothers that you've helped out, and especially the Most High Master's Farrakhan by assisting him holding down the West Coast for years. We thank Allah for you. We love you, Sister Captain. And people are in the comments saying, thank you, love Sister Captain, always speak on it. She's powerful, beautiful, amazing, all of that great stuff. Well, thank you for taking time for coming on the People's Podcast. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you, sir.
Thank you as well. Thank you all for watching.